This is a Focusrite Scarlett interface, and I want to give it to you. First, we got to talk about what it does. Of course, you got to leave a comment. This is a video. Welcome to it. I'm glad you're here. This interface has two different XLR inputs, but they're also 1/4 inch inputs, and I'll tell you about that in a second. It's got two more inputs on the back, and then it's got 4 outputs, which is kind of a big deal. But then if you go back to the front, you'll see another output. There's a lot on this interface, and not only it looks great, not only has a lot of really cool things about it, it sounds great too. I want you guys to know how good this interface sounds, even if you're not in a studio. So what I'm about to do is go home where I don't usually record my stuff. There's no soundproofing, no sound treatment at my house. And I want you guys to hear what it sounds like. And just so you guys know, Focusrite did graciously sponsor this video and send me an interface so that I could show you guys and check it out. But I love it so much that I now use a Focusrite interface full time for my stuff. So if you've heard my new song, Follow You, you've heard how I sound on a Focusrite interface. This is the raw vocal of my microphone plugged into the Scarlett and plugged into my laptop using a free DAW that can be downloaded on most laptops of this brand. And I'm also sitting in my home. That was the thing I really wanted to do. Go ahead and come home from the studio and show you guys what it sounds like in a space that is not treated at all. Sometimes a room that is like treated can sometimes mean thick curtains around all of the walls or on parts of the walls. We don't even have curtains in this room. So I'm sitting in a very modern open floor plan setting and recording directly into the Focusrite Scarlett. And I love the way it sounds. I've already tested it out a little bit and I'm really enjoying how it sounds. When you're starting out recording, it's so easy to get caught up in all of the gear that you could buy. And if that's not you, congratulations. But for most of us, we see all the different things that we could buy. And you can either get like, oh my gosh, like I want to get it all, I want to get it all. Or you can start to get overwhelmed, like this is way too much. How do I take 10 steps back? And maybe you don't even want to try because it seems like too many options to choose from. So I want to give you guys the basics of what you're going to need to get started recording your first song or even a podcast, because those are two things that I've done for a very long time professionally. And so I want to get you guys started. The first thing that I have right here is my laptop. It is a MacBook Pro. It's not one of the newer ones, but it's new-ish, if that makes sense. The laptop that I use full time to record on is even older than this one, but I do like to use this one for quick audio things that I'm recording, such as a list of things, which is exclusive to my Patreon. It's connected to the Scarlett interface, which is plugged up by USB-C, but there is a USB-C to, I guess, what is that, USB-A or B? The regular old one, the traditional USB, if you want to use that adapter as well. And it actually comes with the interface, which I like that they give you that very simple but very practical option. Then we've got the Focusrite Scarlett. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. And I'm plugged into this microphone that is an XLR microphone. Now, this is not the most affordable microphone, but it's also not the most expensive microphone on the planet. And I want to unpack the kind of microphone it is in just one second. But the last thing that I have on my ears, as you see, are my headphones. Now, this microphone is called a dynamic microphone, and there's also something called a condenser microphone. If you're recording at home and recording in your home studio, I 1,000,000% recommend that you get a dynamic microphone. I have a video where I explain those things a little bit further, but the quickest way that I can explain it to you right now is to let you know that a dynamic microphone won't work as hard to pick up all the noises in all the places. It really is going to be locked in to the literal central spot that the microphone is. Whereas a condenser microphone, I think, and well, a lot of people would also say in science, it works better in a treated room, a soundproof or a sound treated room, because it will pick up a lot more of the sounds around the room. Another way to explain it would be that if you happen to be a work from home or stay at home parent like myself, then a dynamic microphone won't pick up the sound of a kiddo playing in the background, but a condenser mic will 100% pick up that sound. So based on what kind of room you're going to be recording in, it's not necessarily always about the brand or the budget, as much as it is about the type of microphone. And this is a dynamic mic. Ironically, you might have just heard my kid, but she admittedly was, being a little bit louder than before, which you didn't hear her through the whole thing so far. This Focusrite interface is so easy to use. I literally plugged it up 5 minutes ago, and I was very easily able to get the XLR connected. And I also really like this. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's like LED, the way that you can tell how much the microphone is, how much volume you're getting in the microphone. A pretty common thing in sound in general is that green is a very safe area for the microphone, for the audio. When you get into yellows, it's kind of clipping, meaning that the sound is getting a little bit too loud and you need to pull back. When you're into red, there's not usually any returning from that, meaning the quality just might be like horrible, or just generally not great. One thing I like about this interface is that it literally shows you, without having to look at the DAW, it shows you what type of audio it's receiving. So it shows you by color if it's green, if it's starting to turn yellow orangey, and then once it hits red, you immediately know to turn it down. So you can hear right now, and then I'll show you guys kind of the difference. I'm going to turn it all the way up, and it's not great quality, but you can see that instead of that input being green, it's in that yellow, orange, red kind of section, and it's not great. When there's no sound going into the microphone, like if I were not making noise right now, I would just turn it. When I turn it, it would be white. So that just kind of helps you to know where you're turning it as far as the input level that you want. And then the green, yellow, red, that is the input level that it's receiving. So the selected input versus the receiving input. This interface has 4 different inputs, meaning you could plug up 4 different microphones or instruments or guitars, but it also depends on the kind of hookup that you have. So this is XLR, as I mentioned, this cable, and the first 2 you can interchange between XLR or 1/4 inch. The other 2 inputs are on the back, and they are 1/4 inch interfaces. Yeah, thank you so much. Isabella just walked by and said, "Good job, Mom," and gave me a thumbs up. Thanks, kiddo. I also just realized kind of by accident that this interface works perfectly fine without power. I accidentally unplugged the power adapter while I was sitting here, and it's still on. It's still working perfectly fine. So that's really cool. It's using the power from my laptop. I love when interfaces can do that, because depending on what the setup is, listen, I just need this to work in all ways and possibilities. I really want to give one of these away. Focusrite reached out and they said that they wanted me to talk about this if this could possibly be something I was interested in. What they didn't know is that I had a Focusrite interface in my Amazon cart. I knew I really wanted it, but I just hadn't made like that official decision yet. So they reached out and I was just so excited that everything worked out and I was able to be blessed with this super awesome interface that I use full time now. And I'd like to return the favor and give this to one of you. All you have to do is leave a comment below and tell me how you would use this Focusrite interface. Do you have a podcast? Do you have a song, an album that you're working on? Even if you're not like a professional, I want to know how you would use this. This is the perfect beginner interface. This is the perfect intermediate interface. It's a really great piece of hardware to have, and I really want it to go to someone that could really benefit from it. I do want to say 2 things. 1, could you please make sure that your email address is on your profile, because we have to be able to contact you. And 2, if you do have a podcast, if you do make music, please leave the Instagram name to that in the comment. That way we can go and check out your music, check out your stuff, and be able to support you because, guys, friends are friends forever. Also, if you know where that's from, please comment below. I need to know there's some other old people in here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I cannot wait to look down at your comments. I really hope that this was helpful when it comes to your recording journey, your production journey, and getting all of those things started. Every time you guys watch one of my videos, it supports me. Hi, I'm Jamie Grace, and also the Wonder Space, which is my studio based out of Atlanta-ish, Georgia. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Cannot wait to hang out in the comments.
Mountain.
Okay.